I'm convinced that we are witnessing the death of critical thinking in modern times. Let me explain. My name is John and you're listening to the Tech Leader Pro podcast. It is week 15 of 2025, Sunday the 13th of April. You're very welcome. Recently I got piled on in a thread on that bastion of free speech, Hacker News, and it got me thinking about the demise of critical thinking again. The thought crime that I committed was to question the source of some data, which was produced by an NGO that was privately funded by vested interests. At least it seemed that way to me based on my initial research. So I asked that question on Hacker News to see if anyone could reassure me that I was wrong, and that they were a trustworthy source. Big mistake. Rather than providing me with evidence that I was wrong, the hive mind on Hacker News instead demanded that I firstly provide evidence that the basis of my question was valid, given how apparently outrageous it was, and secondly, I provide alternative sources of evidence that were better. Apparently when you ask the question, you take full ownership of the solution. Go figure. I was also accused of being a troll, suffering from various logical fallacies, and, quote, arguing in bad faith, end quote, which was the most amusing of all. Repeatedly, I reminded people that nobody had addressed my actual question, because they were too busy attacking me. Again, nobody addressed my actual question seriously, ever. Are these the smartest people on the internet? If so, we are in big trouble. Perhaps I should post a link to this episode to Hacker News and read the comments to learn some new highbrow insults. The core issue that I wanted to discuss was the following. Should we not question the source of information before we accept it? One hypothetical example I gave on that thread in response was the following. Quote, would you trust a report on the impacts of fracking by a pro-fracking NGO with private funding, even if their data looked okay on face value? End quote. But yet I was being asked to accept environmental study results from an NGO that was pro-environmentalist with private funding. Fundamentally, your response to that is emotional, depending upon your personal bias. You're either pro-fracking or pro-environmentalist, but it's hard to be both. It's a blind spot that most people suffer from. They will blindly accept evidence that aligns with their bias, but dismiss evidence that is not aligned with their bias. It's just confirmation bias all the way down. It becomes a fate argument. You should accept this just because it's good. Arguing against it is bad, making you bad. Critical thinking should mean questioning the source of evidence, the leadership of the organization who produced the evidence, and the funding of such organizations. Without that, we are accepting evidence on blind faith. I will link to the Hacker News thread in the show notes of this episode if you really want to read it, but honestly, you will come away feeling dumber. And remember guys, questioning is how we learn. Questioning is how we challenge bias. Questioning is valid. Never stop questioning, and never let anyone shut you down for asking the right questions. Certainty of conviction is for the faithful, but the path to learning is full of doubts. And certainty of purpose is for worker ants. Take care you guys, talk to you next time, and never stop questioning.